Why does your cat secretly hate you? Tonight at 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Find out what kind of secret Kale is hiding. Tonight at 10.
State Farm under investigation. Are they really your good neighbor?
Are birds real?
Birds, cameras, same thing. Tonight at 10.
And our top story tonight.
Yes. And now for an ongoing series. Is water wet? Or does it make things wet? Tonight at 9.
Action News 8 is looking out for you.
We got a man on the street in a bathtub in a kiddie pool to find out. It's like January, the guy just freezes his ass like, yes, we gotta put the pool inside, but
We thought up this gimmick in the summer and
it got pushed. The guy whose idea was doesn't even work here anymore. He's on medical leave. But here I am, free medical leave from the pneumonia. Hi, Jan. All the way from France. All right, let's do this.
From
This
Universal
Ben
Studios,
Podcast Network
Hollywood.
production is brought to you by our patrons whose continued support keeps the lights on. So thank you, Ollie, Dutch, Leclerc, Vert, and as always, tons of mice. Hi, Tim.
What's going on, Mikey?
I'm sleepy.
Yeah.
The kiddo's got some major sleep regression going on.
Yeah, she keeps
So-
weird hours.
I don't know, man. I don't know if she's like, I don't know. I don't get how you could like fall asleep on accident for like an hour and a half, and then that counts as a full day's rest. Like I just don't get it.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen for me. If I fall asleep for an hour and a half, I wake up and I'm like, I need to go back to sleep.
I wake up very confused about what day it is. I don't know where I am. I have very big problems.
Yeah, I guess when you're like, that age, there's no structure to your life, so you can just sleep and it's your whole day, and or not. Like it doesn't matter. Every day is a new one. It's
The amount of times I've like taken her to the window, I'm like, see, the moon is out. That's when we sleep. Oh, see, the sun is up. Time to get up and play. And she's just like, nah, dog, moonlight playing is the best.
So, Mikey, I do have banter for you, but I want to wait until all our British and European listeners show up in the chat because
Okay.
I want to trigger them.
Oh,
And-
no.
And it's going to be, you said you were getting tea earlier,
I am.
and I want to
did.
discuss briefly tea with you. And I know all the Brits how much they love their tea.
I think we put out a short maybe like 2 years ago. There was like something that was like, what is the best way to make tea and da 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 da. And then at the end of it, like the American guy was like, and the answer is obviously in the microwave. And I'm like, oh yes, this is a perfect troll because they're very particular.
Because I have a rather funny story about a tea making device that my wife bought me. That, let's just say, I haven't ever seen it, and it's been quite some time.
Tim, that's a bong. The leaves go in that little cup thing, and then you light that with a lighter. The
Well, maybe-
water is
maybe-
fine.
Maybe we'll do that at the top of the hour.
Okay.
We'll do a banter sandwich. We'll do crappy stuff, banter, crappy stuff.
Oh, here we go. It's starting early.
Well, I mean, you titled it with MAGA in the title, so
That's true. I did.
That's-
I did
that's
lure
what
them
we
in.
get. That's what we
Other
get.
countries have tariffs on the U.S. Why can't we do the same? If you can't tell
Huh.
the difference.
Oh,
Oh, what happened?
well, there they go. So to anyone in the chat who is looking to troll, just know that the wrenches in the chat are brutal.
Yeah, they don't mess around.
It's not us.
They love us and they like to protect us. So there's that.
So what's our first slice of bread in this sandwich?
It's avocado toast.
Sweet.
President Trump's
avocado
25%
toast.
tariffs on almost everything coming from Mexico and Canada already having a real world impact. Distributors are seeing higher prices for things like avocados, tomatoes, and more, and fruits and
Avocados from
vegetables
Mexico.
Oh my God, I know that jingle too from the commercial.
Avocados from Mexico.
Aren't the only.
And if you guys, if you're at the grocery store and you're watching this right now, all your produce has what's called cool labeling. That's these little sticker things. It's got that QR code that you're not supposed to use at the checkpoint, but now you can use them at the checkpoint. But there's like the code, and that's usually the bay number, and that's like 4011 for bananas or 4225 for avocados. Mangoes are 4035. Like all of them have their, and they're the traditional like port bays originally, where they used to sit, and we still use those numbers today. But since 2000, crap, I don't even know. Many years ago, they started making it mandatory that everything have cool labeling, which is country of origin labeling.
Oh, yes.
So if you look at any of your fruit that has a sticker on it, it will let you know where it's from. Very few things are grown here. Very, very few.
Especially in like the colder months because,
well,
you know.
Yeah, we got this winter thing up here in the northern hemisphere.
A lot of our produce does come from Mexico.
Yes, because it's warmer there, and our plants die.
And you know their government cares a bit more about diversity of crops.
Correct. All right. If you want to troll, you're gonna have to hit that subscribe button. Ha ha!
Ha ha!
Gotcha.
Items getting pricier. CNN's Natasha Chen has been looking into this for us. She's joining us now. Natasha, what are you learning?
Oh, let's say hello to the good people. Oh, Jan, you get another one. One Angry Pagan. Billy Kershaw. And that's it so far. Let's go.
Well, this importer.
Oh, come on, girl. You know they went.
The guy behind the camera was like, "Okay, go."
He's
go.
Arms flailing frantically.
Would she miss the countdown?
Yeah.
Or they cut in too
Natasha
early.
Chen.
Maybe they cut in too early.
And has been looking into this for us. She's joining us now. Natasha, what are you learning?
They cut in too
This
early.
importer and distributor here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's the person in the studio's fault. That's not her fault. She's supposed to give her another couple seconds.
They're like, and
prepared
go to
for this
remote.
moment, knowing the tariffs were going to come. They actually ordered a bunch of avocados to arrive on Monday before the tariffs took effect. So these pallets of avocados that you see were at original price, but had they ordered them to arrive today, they would have paid 25% more out of pocket for this to cross the border. Now, the limes, however, these ones did come in today, and they're already more expensive than the same box would have been on Monday, because on Monday it would have cost this company about $30 to bring in each box. Add on that 25% tariff, now it's $37, $38, and of course that cost is passed along. Their customers are other distributors and supermarkets, and so some of them are actually right across the street opening their doors right now, getting ready for their clients, customers potentially from restaurants around Los Angeles coming to them to find produce. So you can see how this cost just trickles on to pass on to the next person.
No, man, these guys are totally just going to take less money.
Yeah, totally. They're just gonna. The fucking CEO of Target was like, "Oh yeah, no, we're totally passing those on to the consumer.
We're not paying that shit."
And he was like, "You're gonna see it in like the next week because once again, all this produce they have to buy on a continuing basis. Like if everyone's ever worked in a grocery store, you know that like that stuff is constantly coming in all the time.
Yeah.
They don't just order it once a month. It comes in at like at least once a week.
A couple times a week for a decent sized store.
Yeah.
Jan in the chat says, I look at all labels. I buy French first, then wider Europe and UK, never Israel. And sorry, lads, the US is now on the banned list. But
I mean, that'll teach
But our
them.
corn.
No, not our corn.
Our
They're already
delicious,
not
delicious
allowed
corn.
to have all of our various corn syrups over there in the UK and Europe. Like, that stuff is banned over there for the most part.
We're going to be living like hummingbirds, Tim, off of just straight corn syrup pouches. So corn's going to be our only caloric intake.
Person and the next person, ultimately to the consumer. Here's what the sales manager, Jaime Herrera, said about this moment of
Jaime,
uncertainty.
break it down.
It is hard to sleep at night because you're thinking, okay,
He must have a 2-year-old as well. Yep, I know.
how are we going to do
See it
this?
in his
Are we
eyes.
He's got those 2-year-old bags.
going to have enough customers? As it is, like you mentioned earlier, ice is on the streets. People are not buying. Consumers are limiting themselves. And we're bringing in all these products not knowing whether we're going to be able to sell it or not. And we're not only that, but the savings that we have on the side, we're now bringing it out because we have to pay those tariffs that we have to. It's the capital.
Whoa. What did he just say? Tim, no. Tim, this guy is a fucking Democrat liar. He's a liar. Let me run it back. He is lying to you guys. How dare you lie on my street?
Not only that, but the savings that we have on the side, we're now bringing it out because we have to pay those tariffs that we have to.
Tim, I've been lied to.
He's got to pay those tariffs.
Why does the distributor have to pay the tariffs? Oh, wait, because that's how tariffs work. That's a tax on people who buy the stuff. It's a 25% tax on us. And they're still arguing that other countries need to pay to make it fairer for us.
Yeah, they got to pay.
But they don't. Jaime pays. Jaime's the one paying that.
Wait a minute.
Now do y'all believe me?
Mikey, the Republicans and the president would never lie to us.
Like,
Ever.
Now do y'all believe me? It says right there. Like, Jaime, tell him again.
On the side, we're now bringing it out because we have to pay those tariffs that.
I feel like I was lied to.
Or Jaime is a liar. That's what it is. He's part of MS-13, the most lying liars of the lie face.
We've been misled.
Am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you.
Got a button for everything.
We have to. It's the capitalizing a little bit, and so that's what's concerning. Is
Kevin says, T.O. Jaime. Yeah, T.O. Don't do it to us, T.O.
that we're gonna get decapitalized really quick.
We're going to get decapitalized.
Damn, lowercase only, bitch. I mean, do I have to find like 10 more examples of people saying, no, I pay the tariff and then I'm going to charge you? Like, do we have to keep bringing up example after example after example? Is it touching ground somewhere?
Not yet. I don't think people are going to realize until like a few months into this that like, hey, Trump did that. Trump raised the prices on everything.
But a few months in, like let's say 3 months, that is 15 grocery trips.
Yep.
Time plus 25% extra for probably most of that cart.
I mean, there's going to be some serious like sticker shock in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there'll be a whole bunch more of those Trump stickers that said, I did that. Remember when they did that to Biden? I've seen them going around about Trump now. It says, I did that.
Did they do it on gas yet? Can I get some low gas? Did the gas get cheaper yet? No.
I don't think so.
Especially not up north when Canada's about to just turn everything off. Just take a giant monkey wrench on a pipeline and say, nope, you're done. Turning that bitch off. See you in a couple months.
And of course, there are now retaliatory tariffs as well,
Great.
retaliatory actions.
Which compounds the issue. Great.
No.
Great.
After Canada started pulling U.S.-made liquor from its shelves earlier, the
A low move.
CEO of Brown-Forman, which makes Jack Daniel's
Yo, they're going to sit there and be like, nah, dog, we're all going dry for a couple months. And they said, what?
They're gonna drink Canadian whiskey only.
That's right.
Well, and Irish
Whiskey.
whiskey, I assume.
They'll take it. They
They'll
could
take it.
They could use some customers right now.
Can you imagine, like, all right, so they took all the American liquors off the shelves, and now, like, all the Irish and Scottish whiskeys go, like, the sales go through the fucking roof.
I mean, that'll be good for you when you flee here and go to Ireland.
Ah, one can only dream.
said that the move was disproportionate. Here's the quote: "That's worse than a tariff because it's literally taking your sales away." Now, of course, depending.
Yes. Yes.
All right, who thought that, like, the Canadians weren't going to be like, fuck around and find out? Like, who thought that?
Maybe they're too, you know what I mean? People, like, mistook their niceness for weakness.
Right.
They're not that nice.
Right.
They're definitely not weak. So they're kind of nice. They're nicer than us, I'll say that. But they they give two damns about what's going on down here. Like, yo, clean up your shit. Clean
Was
up your shit.
The premier from Ontario said, "I'll cut off their energy with a smile on my face." Like, come on, guys.
He said, "It's not winter no more. Y'all will be all right." Oh boy. Oh yeah.
Breaking news, the markets just opened.
Breaking news.
In the United States, and it was brutal, frankly. You can see all yesterday's gains basically wiped out. This.
See? Are we
I don't
still
know.
crazy?
It's like immediate too. It's like just snap your finger and bam.
It was
The market hates it.
I was watching somebody's show, and they had like Trump on camera doing his little speech, his little announcement thing, and they got the ticker on the bottom with the NASDAQ and all that shit, and you could see it just
Yeah.
while he was talking. I'm like, oh no, shut up, don't say nothing else. Poll in the chat. Ryan, what's up? Daily Blase. The legend. Have Republicans come to terms yet? The man is a Russian bootlicker.
Not yet.
I think they like bootlickers of all varieties. Like, as long as you don't stand for poor people and brown people, you're great. If you, like, I don't know, fillet a billionaire, great.
This is after a new private report on layoffs, recession-level jobs cuts, this report says, and that's on top of the wild uncertainty on tariffs. So let's get right to CNN's Matt Egan for what we're seeing here. Matt.
Yeah, John, look, I think investors are reacting to another flashing yellow light when it comes to this economy, and really the first concrete evidence that we're getting of the impact of all of those Doge-led layoffs. So we're talking about a new report from outplacement firm Challenger.
We didn't need those 172,000 people weren't contributing to the economy.
Well, and there's also, I don't know if they talk about it, but there's also a separate jobs report that came out saying that 100,000 fewer jobs were added to the economy than they thought.
Gray and Christmas, and it found that 172,000 layoffs were announced in February. That is twice as much as what we saw last February. It's the most for any month since July of 2020, which of course was during COVID. It's also, John, the most for
that
any
can't be good.
February since the Great Recession back in 2009. When we look at the trend here, you can see that these layoff announcements late last year were hovering around 50,000, 60,000, but there's been this notable spike.
I made you sell,
172,000
I goes where I
in
goes.
February. Challenger, they've been tracking this monthly figure for.
If you subscribe, that's the sound that plays.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's funny. I would like to note the little thing there on the bottom that says U.S. employers cut more jobs last month than any February since 2009.
What happened in 2009?
What happened in 2009?
Well, I remember
That's
in
not
2008. I graduated in 06. And then, we had the bubble. And the economy plummeted.
Where's the Jim Cramer button? Hit that one.
Got it.
Bill Poole is a shame. He's shameful.
Oh, and that's what happened in 2009.
Yeah. The market collapsed.
32 years, and there's only been 11 months over that span that had a higher number than this one. And John,
so
that ain't good.
I mean, I don't like Biden either, but like, I'm not trying to shoot Biden any bail here. I'm no Biden fan. Everybody has heard me scream at the top of my lungs for months now about how much I dislike that fellow. But come on, dog.
Biden was like a decent steward of the economy. He didn't go around actively fucking it up.
He made sure the millionaires ate, and that kept things stable for a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
And he made sure that, like, the rest of us did okay. Like, not great, but okay. He wasn't going around there imposing tariffs on other countries just for funsies.
Well, that's the thing. All the millionaires, they love to eat fruit. Millionaires eat way more fruit per capita than the average person. So that's why,
Right, yeah.
they're really going to feel this because they eat 75 pounds of grapes a day as opposed to the regular person's, third of a pound. So this is really going to get them.
all of them were during recessions. Now, I'm not saying that's where we're going right now, but I think
you should. You probably should. It'd be a safe bet.
I mean, I'd say possibly.
I think it's obvious.
Some context here, and I think this is telling too, right? Yep. Layoffs by industry. Two things stand out here.
No. If you cut taxes for big business like these retail and tech people, they'll hire more people, Tim.
Well, yeah, that's because they're job creators, Mikey. That's what they do. They create jobs, and if you tax them less, they'll create more jobs. It's not that, like, the economy is made up of a bunch of rich people who will sit on their money, no matter if the rest of us starve.
Hey, DePickle, we got a new person. Hi, DePickle. Baron is an anchor, baby. Yeah. Hell yeah, he had to get somebody some citizenship before she got put back on the market.
Retail, a big spike so far this year in layoff announcements. And we know, John, consumer spending, consumer confidence have taken a hit recently. But the big increase here is government. Look at this. Just 151 layoffs were announced at this point last year. Now it's more than 62,000. Challenger said that the number one reason cited for layoffs in February were actions taken by Doge. And
No. Those
no.
people didn't exist.
Right. Those weren't real people who lost their jobs.
Nope. Those were cephalopods dressed up as humans, not real people.
They were AI. They were fake. They were fake computer people.
Clearly, they were holograms. Or they were veterans. Or people who had been there for a long time and got promoted because they were doing such a great job, and then Doge came in and fired them anyway because they don't understand what probation means.
Right.
I guarantee you he walked in and look at all these people in trouble. Oh, get rid of the troublemakers. Get the troublemakers out of here. When that has nothing to do with it. It just means you've been at your position for less than a year. That's all it means.
Yeah.
And we know that they're trying to cut costs, right? They're trying to make the government more efficient. They're trying to get at the federal deficit. But there's a real economic impact. And John, look, there's real people involved too, right? These are moms.
I mean, you could literally fire all of them and you'd be at 1% of the deficit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many of these jobs you cut. You're not saving any real money, especially because they get to take unemployment, which comes from government funds. You're paying them one way or the other.
I mean, like, I can't even really think of a work like cutting federal workers probably is the best like analogy for this. You know what I mean? Like, because I can't think of anything less efficient to save money. Like if if you're getting a little tight on your bills, cutting your Hulu might be something that you have to worry about. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll get my monthly costs down.
Yeah.
This is like, you know what? I'm going to make sure all the windows are lowered 1 extra centimeter. And
Right.
that's how I'm going to get out of this financial hole. Because I'm wasting energy. Because I like to have the window open when I sleep. So I'm just going to, do it a centimeter at a time. And that's going to save me money on my bills. I don't know if it works like that.
And the problem is they for some reason think that having less people employed at these agencies is going to make them more efficient. And I forget who it was that said that the government is not in the business of employing people, it's in the business of like providing services. How the fuck are you going to provide services without employees?
We have concepts of employees.
Like, government's entire function, its entire reason for being, the reason why it's there is to serve us.
Yes.
It is to provide services. Is to create a place where they do something for us because we give them tax money. And I think the Republicans just want to be like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to collect taxes anymore. You guys can do whatever you want. And government will just go away, and we can just live in some sort of anarchy.
Yeah, anarcho-capitalist.
Yeah.
Thanks for the sub. It didn't play the right thing though. I told it to
plays
play
whatever it wants.
It does. It is in charge here now.
And DePickles is right. Government is not for profit. No. It's not. And they want to privatize.
I'm Idris Elba. I goes where I goes.
Sorry, I just realized I did it on the follow, not the subscription. Follows are for Twitch. That's why it didn't change. There we go. Welcome, Judy.
I forgot my point now. I don't know what are we talking about?
Here, can I rewind the show?
Yeah, can you rewind the show. But yeah, government is there to like help us because we pay it in taxes, and it feels like the Republicans are like, we don't need to do that anymore.
Can I attempt to tweak your framing on that?
Yeah.
We want shit. We pay for shit. You do it.
Right.
That's for my equation. That's how I see it. Like, yeah, it's okay. Take this out of my check, but these roads better be good. And these, like these schools better be good. And this, we better not have no bombs falling in on us. I want a military, we want these things. So we pay for these things, and you better do those things, or we're going to get somebody else in there to do those things for us because we're paying for them. And they're just like, what if we just don't pay for anything?
Right, yeah.
Then we don't get anything.
It kind of feels like, you remember the discussions people used to have, like, oh, the Republicans hate socialism, but like building roads is socialism.
Yeah.
And
the
like
military.
and a fire department is and all that.
Yeah.
And the Republicans, I think at some point the Republicans were like, oh, really? Well, we're going to get rid of all that.
Yeah, do they want
Then there
private
won't
fire?
be any socialism.
Private fire departments? Just
Like-
hey, just Zell me if you want me to put your house out.
Oh, it's a pretty big fire you got there. It'll be like $5,000.
Let me get you an estimate.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's a free estimate, but if you really want us to put that fire out, you're gonna have to at least 50% up front.
Jen says, what about the ancients, all those over the age of 150? That's true. They are a major leech on society. All of these. I don't even know how to say. What genarian would they be? 150 genarians? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you would
Quinsagenarians?
quinsagenarians.
What are we going to do about all of them? And Pickle's right. The drug use in the White House is higher than normal. And Hunter's not even there. Questionably obscenity. Take your air horn. Jonathan Pye is doing more frequent videos, which means Trump is at least helping out the satirist. Yeah, I mean, this is the only career that has materials that are coming in tariff-free. Everybody else's materials are costing more. Let's see, who else we got here?
Even the material Canadians use, or Canadians, comedians. God damn it. You know what? Just move on. Just move on.
Daily Blase says, I actually watched the Mango Mussolini speech in full. My God, isn't he a complete emotional vampire and sucks the life out of any room? They might as well have replayed one of his rally speeches. Yeah. And oh my God, I guess we can. I don't think I have any clips of it, but dude,
I have a. Oh, are we talking about the speech?
Yeah.
I have a clip of after the speech, like a instant reaction from Maddow after the speech. I don't think you put it up on there. I put it after you walked away.
Oh.
But it's in the old chats.
Oh, look at that! You can scroll down.
The president, in his, what we believe was ad-libbing, we did not have prepared remarks from the president, which is unusual. White Houses usually distribute prepared remarks, so we don't know what was digression from those remarks and what was ad-lib. But the president did repeatedly seem to be ad-libbing when he was remarking on the expected impact of the economic decisions he's already made 6 weeks.
So much noise.
I know.
Turn that shit down.
Why aren't they cutting out the audio from that? You don't need to hear that anymore. It's just people rambling on.
And saying that the American people would have
rhubarb
to bear with him, that there would be a little disturbance, that there would be an adjustment period. And again, he said a little disturbance, essentially suggesting that the roiling that we saw in the markets is something that he knows he caused, but he hopes people will not mind.
Yeah, who cares?
The stock market's currently down 600 points today. The Dow Jones is.
Fuck me.
For the record, the worst inflation in this country was in 1980. For the record,
who was president back then? I can't remember.
Oh, the year 1980 was Carter, but then Reagan was president in 81.
The economy that he was left by President Biden was not a catastrophe. It was literally the best economy in the world. It was described by The Economist magazine as the envy of the world. That was the economy that was left.
Well, wait till they get a load of us. We'll just poop right in its mouth.
The envy of the world.
Just poop right in the economy's mouth. That'll help. Oh, God.
To Donald Trump by Joe Biden.
Like, this is like someone saying, yes, we should all just pee in the water supply from now on because water is water.
Isn't that what RFK said?
Oh, God.
For the record, Social Security is not paying benefits in large numbers to 300-year-old people or 250-year-old people or 200-year-old people or 150-year-old people. In fact, the idea of Social Security as a bastion of massive fraud and overpayment is completely false.
Oh, yeah, and this was the thing about Social Security that I forgot to talk about on Tuesday. If you turn 15, 16 and you go work at McDonald's, you're paying into Social Security. And then you get a real job at, like, I don't know, McDonald's headquarters. And then you're working there and you're making good money. And then you retire from there. But then, some things happen and you don't get that money. Or that money's not enough. The fact that you've paid into Social Security for 50 years and now Now someone randomly is just going to like, oh, no, you don't get that anymore. We're getting rid of that program. Then give them all their money back. All of it.
I mean,
all that they've paid over the years.
That is essentially the goal of Social Security.
Right.
Is that the tax from Social Security goes into a fund that when you retire, you're supposed to get that money back. Or at least an amount of that money back. I don't know how the formula works, but you're paying for your future retirement by paying into Social Security. But
yeah,
over the last, I don't know, when pensions were a thing in America. I know that Europeans have pensions and they love it so fucking much. But
Tim's not mad. Don't accuse him of being mad or jealous.
Americans have had the burden of their retirement shifted over to them over the last, let's say, 50 years or so.
Yeah.
And more, it's like 401ks and RAs and all that other shit that is just putting your money in the stock market and hoping you have money left over when you retire. And, you know, everyone got wiped out in 2010. Yeah. And those people who are hoping to retire, good luck. Like, we're playing against the house now for our retirement, and the only thing saving us is Social Security, and they're just going to get rid of that.
Right. Because a lot of people had to dip into that 401k during the last crash.
Yeah.
Is it illegal to organize a run on a bank? Maybe it's just frowned upon.
I don't know. Depends on what you mean by organize.
I'm just saying. And if they deport me or something for being unpatriotic, I want my money back.
Right.
Give me my money back.
Give me the money I paid in.
I want to pay out now.
Think of it like this. We're all buying into the partnership of America.
Right.
And if you want me to leave as partner, I want my buy-in back.
Yeah. We got 2 new people. Oh, Chrissy in the chat. Pensions are not a bad option as it is guaranteed income for your retirement. That was the plan.
That was the whole fucking plan. And then businesses were like, we're not paying for that anymore.
And Puds. Hey on Puds. Howdy. Howdy, partner. I feel like I should start the show with a howdy, partner, because that's what I say to everybody, but I just can't think of a good catch line to start it off with. And I'm not buying a hat. I'm not doing it.
For the record,
what is that supposed to mean?
I'm not buying a cowboy hat just so I can say howdy, partner.
Oh, I see. I thought you were just angry at the concept of buying a hat.
I will not purchase hats. Never again.
U.S. Auto
they're a Ponzi scheme hats, you know.
Company CEOs are not psyched and delighted and so excited about President Trump's economic policies, including his tariffs. Take, for example, the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, who said that Trump's tariff policies would, quote, blow a hole in the U.S. auto industry that, quote, we've never seen.
This noise is killing me.
Yeah.
All right, the jobs. All right, the other thing.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about jobs.
Oops.
Dads.
You know the good thing about having ADHD when the world's ending? You kind of forget some of the other stuff if it's not directly in front of you.
Yeah, object permanence is real.
Millennials with student debt, and their lives have been turned upside down just over the last few weeks by all these layoffs.
You know, it is interesting when we saw that chart before. Yes, a huge chunk of this government layoffs.
Oh, yeah, wasn't it mostly government workers that got their loan forgiven?
Yes.
And now they don't have a job.
Yes, and they're also they're making that program go away, that loan forgiveness stuff. So.
Oh, so they're getting rid of loans?
No, just the forgiveness of them.
Oh.
Yeah, you can still, have loans. The government won't forgive your student loans simply because you work for the government.
Damn.
Yeah.
The bankers in 2008 got bonuses. They sure did. They all had golden parachutes, baby. As the world burned.
And none of them went to jail.
I don't understand that.
Not one.
You got to put one of them in jail. Maybe not 100, but at least one motherfucker had to go to prison for that.
It's really too bad that like Luigi wasn't around then.
Bill Poole's a shame. He's shameful.
Luigi would never.
But not all. I mean, retail too. It's across all sectors. It probably would be one of the worst months we've seen in a long time, even without the government cuts. And then these swings we're seeing in the markets right now, just day after day, huge losses after big gains yesterday, after huge losses.
You know what really helped America to be like the financial superpower that it was? Stability.
Yeah.
We could weather a lot of things and be just all right. Just like we weathered COVID better than most people.
Yeah.
Like, I think in the G7, we kind of fared the best out of all of it.
Yeah, we had the lowest rate of inflation.
Well,
for, a while.
And he's like, oh, all these countries are going to invest billions of dollars in us. Are they?
Only because you're like extorting them to do so.
I mean, they could just not send the check.
They could just not send the check.
You know what I mean? They could get in your face and be like, yeah, this is so great. Oh my God, we're doing it. And then as soon as I get back to the plane, and as soon as they get back to the crib, they're just like, holy shit, that market is volatile. Keep our money over here.
The volatility index is rather high currently.
The day before.
Yeah, listen, investors are just living and dying on, first of all, the trade headlines, all the volatility, all the uncertainty. Tariffs are on, they're off, they're dialed back, there's exceptions, and now they're reacting, I think, to some of these concerns.
Like, this is why Trump is bad at business. Like, now we're all starting to see, like, this is how he tried to run his companies and tried to, like, increase his wealth. It's through bullying. It's through this, like, these bluffs and all this stuff, this obvious puffery when it comes to certain numbers on things. Like he would say, oh, my apartment is 1 square foot when it came to like tax time. And then he's like, oh yeah, I need a loan. It's 3 million square feet in New York on the 400,000th floor. And then he was just like, make up all this bullshit. You can't do that when everyone else is involved. Well, you couldn't do it in fucking New York anyway, because you got, charges for inflating your shit. But it doesn't work on a global stage because everybody else is looking. It's like, that's not true. That's not going to happen. Oh, you're going to put tariffs? Okay, tariffs cost money. Here comes the money. They're listening to me. Yes, they're listening to you. You cannot bluff in finance. They only care about what you're paying them. These promises ain't going to work. Who would trust Trump to be like, oh, well, Trump says he's going to really look out for me this time. Man, he'll push your ass under that bus so fast.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know that person.
Concerns about the economy itself.
This makes everyone uneasy.
Ivanka Trump, never heard of her.
No question about that. Matt Egan, thank you very much. With us now, Bakari Sellis, trained and political commentator, and Matt Mowers. He is a former...
Yeah, you're good. We don't need your commentary. We just wanted your information. Also... yesterday, if you guys were watching CBS News? I think I was on CBS News. Coverage.
This was NBC.
Where's CBS's news? Let me see. Ooh, hold on. CBS. But I was going ham in their chat yesterday. Ham.
Times long.
Because they were trying to go after my mayor. I mean, I don't live in Chicago proper because I can't afford it. Let's see here. Bring forth the chat replay. But they brought in the mayors from some sanctuary cities. So New York, Denver, Boston, and Chicago. And they brought those mayors in.
This is your home. Boston es tu hogar.
Go ahead, girl.
Telakayu, 这是你的家. This is our city. We are the safest major city in the...
It's Ash Wednesday. Or it was Ash Wednesday.
Boy, look, I have a funny story to tell you about Ash Wednesday.
I'm listening.
When I was about 18, so too many years ago to say, I was
in the century before this.
I was working at a grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Ash Wednesday, and I had I was born and raised Catholic, and I totally forgot about the whole thing. So it was nighttime. I was working the closing shift, and these people come in with these like things on their faces, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" And it's happening, and I was like, for like 5 minutes, I was like, "Is there a cult in my town? Are these people part of a cult? What the fuck is going on here?"
Step into the pentagram made of salt, Tim.
And like I had no one around me to ask questions to, so I was just like spiraling into this town in Connecticut has joined the cult, and I don't know what to do about it.
How do I get out of here? You just hear, and just busts his own car window, dives in. Start, damn it, start!
We gotta get out of here. And then the day after, I was told that it was Ash Wednesday, and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." But I lost it for a good like 10 minutes there. I was like, "Holy shit, what is going on around here?"
I never saw anybody with the ash on the forehead thing until I was also like in my 20s, because it just wasn't a thing. Like I didn't really have a lot of like super Catholic friends and stuff like that. Like everyone was kind of like either Baptist or non-denominational. There wasn't a ton of Catholic kids that I hung out with, so I never saw it as a kid. They didn't do it at school, and I was just like you said, I was like, oh, there's a lot of them. Oh, yo, what are they doing? Like it's Ash Wednesday. I'm like, that doesn't explain anything.
For those in the chat who don't know, because I see it in the chat, a few people don't know.
The fuck is Ash
Wednesday?
You can curse here, Pagan. You can curse. We're not going to kick you out.
Yeah.
The bots are turned off.
Ash Wednesday is the first day of Lent in the Catholic Church. And it's like 40 days from Lent until Easter Sunday. And it's supposed to be like you're supposed to give up something, usually meat.
The economy.
The economy.
We gave up profits for Lent.
We gave up spending money for Lent. We're just gonna take. But yeah, it's and in America, in one state in particular, they have a celebration the day before called Fat Tuesday, which is like the end of Mardi Gras in Louisiana, in New Orleans, and it's a big old party. And then the next day they stop sinning.
Because that's all it was. That's all they needed.
That's all they needed. Just a celebration of sin, and then the next day, no sin.
Sin is turned off. Sin has left the chat.
For 40 days, no sinning.
Did they delete all my stuff?
They deleted all your stuff.
I'm trying to find where all my comments were. Because I'm talking about, I was cooking these people.
Oh, Chris C. says it's the first day of Lent for a majority of Christian denominations, not just Catholics. Yeah, I get that.
But I never participated in Lent as a Christian.
Yeah, I didn't. Like I said, once I turned old enough to have reason, I didn't do none of that.
Yo, I could eat a cheeseburger on Friday and not cheat on somebody's wife. So let's just keep our eye on the ball here.
Working in the restaurant industry, Lent was like, man, Friday, I don't have to work. Nobody's going to order Chinese food.
Unless y'all got fish.
Unless y'all got, yeah. And like anyone who orders from pizza place, it's like plain cheese pizza. It's a breeze.
Oh, man. Can you imagine fucking spending money for a cheese pizza?
I know, right?
That's like ordering a car with no paint on it. Just metal. Oh, the Cybertruck. Never mind.
So because we're at the top of the hour.
Oh, yes.
And I did say this, and we have a good number of Brits in here now.
Oh, hold on.
Sorry, and that I have made mistakes.
Go ahead.
So I saved the banter for our episode until we had a good number of people in the chat because I want to talk about tea. Mikey.
Yes.
What's your favorite way to have tea?
In a cup?
Just nothing else, just tea. That's it.
It's I got a little sugar in it. This is lemon tea.
And And what's your favorite kind of tea?
Chai tea.
Chai tea. That's a good one. I do love me some chai.
Yeah. Oolong's okay. Darjeeling's okay. I usually go for the more like, I either want like a chai where it's nice and like, you take a sip and it's nice and creamy, but it's also peppery as shit and you're like,
Yeah. I like
feel
the,
that shit
I like
in my
the
nose.
spice. I like the spice that hits you when you drink a good chai tea.
Chai literally means tea. I like tea.
I like tea.
I like tea chai.
I like tea. My favorite tea is I've grown quite accustomed to like Earl.
Wait, sorry. Look at the truth says spit into my mouth like a baby bird. I changed my answer to that. Air horn for that. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Mama bird it to me, please. Chai tea or mama birded chai tea. TT. Mama birded TT is my favorite. Sorry, Tim, I lied.
Oh my god. Berries tea. I do like berries tea for a poll in there. I like berries tea. I enjoy me some Earl Grey or like English breakfast tea. It's good stuff. Nice, strong, gets you going in the morning kind of tea. And at night I like chamomile.
Okay.
And I don't put cream in my tea or milk or anything. It's just maybe a sugar.
I didn't at first, but for black teas, I definitely a little cream in there. And I was like, oh, this is better. But I'm as a Southerner, I'm the only Southerner on the podcast network, by the way. All the rest of you are Yanks, you know.
Well, Mark's not a Yank.
Yes, he is. He's in fucking Minnesota.
He's basically Canadian.
Oh, okay, fair enough. If he says a boot one more time, love you, Mark. But sweet tea is my original tea. Like quadruple the sugar necessary sweet tea. Like that's what I thought tea was. And I was like, oh, it comes hot? Huh.
You can make it hot. That is also my original way to drink tea was iced tea. Like that's always been my favorite. I can't not drink iced tea. I got some right here. Arnold Palmer is my favorite iced tea lemonade.
Yeah, all of our people over there across the pond, what are your thoughts on us filthy Americans drinking like sweet tea and Arnold Palmer's and all these other tea concoctions? Do you mock us for it, or are you slightly jealous?
Slightly jealous, I assume.
Yeah. Long Island iced tea, that's a good tea.
There ain't no tea in a Long Island iced tea.
Tim, it's for my health.
Okay.
I have to drink tea in the morning.
I like how someone called it a Long Island iced tea, and it's like, just get all the top shelf liquors and mix them together. There you go. Long Island iced tea.
Well, then you got to splash a little Coke in there so it doesn't look like it's a bunch of bubbling liquor. Like that cauldron from like Bugs Bunny with the witch, and he would like stir it and then pull the spoon out, and the spoon was all withered and gone.
And also, living so close to Long Island, that is an apt name for a drink with that much booze in it. It's definitely based on the people of Long Island.
It fits. If anything has ever fit, it fits. Let's see what these mayors are talking about.
This Congress.
Enough about your
finally
tea.
Commit to do the same. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I now recognize Chicago Mayor Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Comer. Thank you to the ranking member Connolly and to members of this committee. I have the great privilege and honor of serving as mayor of the city of Chicago, the third largest city in the nation. Established by a Black Haitian man and a Potawatomi woman.
Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable.
Chicago is and always has been a proud city of immigrants. Generations of new arrivals, including the descendants of the enslaved during the Great Migration, created a vibrant city where 1 in 5 residents is foreign-born. Each day I wake up to serve every one of Chicago's 77 unique neighborhoods and those who live in our great city. As mayor of Chicago, nothing is more important to me than the safety and well-being of all residents. And since I was elected, my administration has been laser focused on creating and implementing public safety initiatives that protect all Chicagoans. We launched the People's Plan for Community Safety, which builds trust between communities and law enforcement by prioritizing transparency and violence intervention.
They hired 200 detectives to go after like unsolved murders and shit like that, to show that the cops are not just there to just like chase people down and beat the shit out of them, but to actually solve crime.
We established a dedicated robbery task force that reduced robberies by 25% citywide.
Hey, they put a tariff on crime.
I told the chat that I have a microwave for my tea, and they don't like it.
Well, that is what the microwave was made for. To boil water in space. I don't know why Tim's using it in atmosphere. But unlike Tim, I will say this. I have a kettle. And I use my kettle.
I have an electric kettle that I have next to all the tea. So
look at you living in 3045. Whatever. Fucking flames too archaic for you, spaceman.
I don't even have gas in my house. I have an electric stovetop, so I got an electric kettle because it's more efficient.
I guess. I'm in the wrong screen now. Made me upset.
Over 200 detectives, increasing the clearance rates.
Hey, that's what I said.
On our cases. And we've updated police equipment and technology so that our police officers have the tools they need to effectively prevent and fight crime.
Body cams
our
on
efforts
everybody.
to improve public safety by building trust with and investing in our communities are working. Violent crime is down in Chicago. The city ended 2024 with its lowest homicide rate in 5 years. The city is also safer because of our Welcoming City Ordinance. That law makes sure that the city's police resources are focused on our local priorities. In fact, the 40 years of Chicago's leaders have recognized that our policies toward civil immigration matters help to prevent and solve crimes. Put simply, any actions that amplify fears of deportations make Chicago more dangerous. Those fears cause witnesses and victims to avoid cooperating with police. The cooperation of all people, regardless of their immigration status, is essential to achieving the city's goals of reducing crime and pursuing justice for victims. When there is trust between city's residents and the police, undocumented immigrants come forward to report crimes to local law enforcement and provide information that helps the police solve those crimes. And now, I know there are myths about these laws, but we must not let mischaracterizations and fear-mongering obscure the reality that Chicago's crime rates are trending down. We still have a long way to go, but sensationalizing tragedy in the name of political expediency is not governing.
Scott and Ollie.
It's grandstanding. Every violent crime is devastating, but scapegoating entire communities is not only misleading, it is unjust, and it is beneath us. So let me be clear. Chicago's Welcoming City Ordinance and our other laws and policies do not lead to more crime. They do not prevent cooperation with federal law enforcement on criminal matters. And we do not harbor criminals. We arrest them, often because of laws that allow residents to feel safe helping the police. As mayor, I'm building a Chicago that embodies the dream of my father had when he came from Salis, Mississippi during the second migration. A Chicago that invests in housing, healthcare, jobs, and education. And that's why we've increased safe and stable housing by adding almost 4,000 more units, expanded access to health care by opening 3 mental health centers, and focused on getting our young people well-paying jobs, with summer jobs increasing by 45% since I've taken office. Our local partnerships have built a solid foundation, a better, stronger, and a much safer Chicago. We need this body's support for these efforts. We are ready to partner with you on the measures we know promote trust and create sustainable public safety. And to the people of Chicago and all hardworking people across this great nation, these values are our North Star. the drinking gourd we follow to a better future. We will not live in fear. It is not our portion. We will not go back. I do look forward to answering the questions of this committee.
There you go, Tim. Thoughts?
Good for Chicago.
He was president of the teachers union, and he won his election against the guy who was sitting on the chair on the committee of the Fraternal Order of Police. So the teacher beat the cops.
Yeah.
In the last election.
It seems like the failure at the federal government level, like the president's failure here, has really caused, well, most of the mayors in major cities to like step up and sort of fight back.
Yeah.
All with the exception of Mayor Eric Adams, who is a tool.
Yeah.
And should resign immediately.
He doesn't care.
But he doesn't. He's probably been the worst mayor in New York City in a long time, and those mayors include de Blasio, Bloomberg, and Giuliani. So
what's wrong with Giuliani? He did a great job.
Mayor Adams is probably the most corrupt modern mayor in New York City. That boy he's no good.
He is compromised.
But like, you know, Boston and Chicago and LA and I don't know what other mayors they had here, but you know, those mayors have really stepped up in combating ICE and the president's immigration policies. And I'm surprised that they didn't have the mayor of New Haven there, because New Haven is the original sanctuary city.
Look at Connecticut, always trying to be in the conversation.
I'm just saying, we came up with the idea. What you want
to fucking hear? Let me see. Want some credit here? Here, toot your horn.
I'm just saying.
Good job, New Haven. You did it.
We did it.
Hi, Steven. Get your air horn on the way in. And if you guys haven't liked already, please like. I forgot to do that at the top of the hour. And if you would like to join the chat, all you have to do is sub. The button's right somewhere. There-ish.
It's
probably around that area. Maybe under. It's probably underneath Tim's mic.
Probably.
So try to click on Tim's face, and you'll probably hit subscribe on accident, and we appreciate it. The questioning that they received from these people is was
these fucking people.
I mean, it was like I don't even know. Like, I don't know what they were trying to accomplish. Oh, here it is.
A couple comments first. As far
Let's
as
see here, let's get some real winners here. Who? Look at homegirl right here. This is from North Carolina.
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman. So since 2022,
much as Chicago.
That's Dr. Fox from North Carolina.
I cannot stand this lady.
Mayor Johnson, in the last 4 years, how much has Chicago spent on care for illegal aliens?
Thank you for that question, Congresswoman. So since 2022, since the governor of Texas began shipping.
Just tell me a number. I don't need a speech. Just tell me.
There you are.
Number.
So since 2022, since the governor of Texas was shipping individuals to cities across this country.
And let's talk about that for a second. Governor Abbott down in Texas. This guy is such a friggin' racist that he decided he would tell people, hey, hop in these buses. We're so glad you're here. Get in the bus. And then the people say, oh my God, they're actually welcoming us. Wow, this is really nice. And then they would just bus them to a random city.
Right, yeah.
Without telling them where they were going, without explaining what was going on, they would just take them. A lot of times they would get like, you know, like you got older people who have medication, you got kids on there, and they're just trapped in this bus that's just hurtling down the highway. Now, when he did it in the wintertime, he dropped them off in Chicago and below freezing temps. And a lot of these people are in shorts and t-shirts or jeans and a t-shirt. And he dropped them off in freezing Chicago weather. No notice, no nothing. So the city put in an ordinance saying that any bus companies that participate in this, you can't drop them off. And you can't have any contracts with Illinois going forward because you're not allowed to just kidnap people and drop them off in a state where they don't know where they are and no one is there to receive them. So I think he answered, he touches on a little bit of there, but I had to light the people up in the chat about that point because everyone seems to have forgotten that it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and they got, I don't know, 100 people just walking down the fucking interstate because they don't know what else to do and they're just trying to figure out where to go next. They have no idea where they are. This was Governor Abbott of Texas. This was his great plan. Well, I'll teach you lefties. You human trafficked people is what you did. And he should have been brought up on charges for it.
The city's budget, roughly 1% of the city's budget over the course of 4 years.
Mayor Johnston, the same question, and I don't need a speech, just a number.
Thank you, Dr. Congresswoman.
Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of time.
Thank you, Congresswoman. It's $79 million over the last 2.5 years.
Oh my goodness. All the money. All the money.
All the money.
It's not a lot of money.
Mayor Adams, same question. How much has New York spent to care for illegal aliens?
And also, illegal is a slur. I don't care how you slice it, it's a slur. The word is undocumented.
And aliens is not, it's not a great one either.
Yeah, they're not, I mean, aliens in a technical sense, perhaps, but they're migrants. Just like her family is a bunch of migrants and everything. No one called her family a bunch of aliens just to be coy and to otherize normal ass, like, I mean, at the end of the day, these are North Americans. They're just going over a country line. And if a city has sanctuary status, or if you're, I don't know, fleeing the prosecution of the Venezuelan government and the gangs and the cartels, I guess you're just supposed to let it happen because this lady, in all of her wisdom, wants to call you slur after slur after slur in her crippled little ivory tower. Yeah, fuck off, lady.
Ollie, don't start stuff in the chat.
$6.9 billion went out of our taxpayers' funds.
Mayor Wu, same question. How much has Boston spent to care for illegal aliens in the last 4 years?
We do not ask about immigration status and giving city services and providing that access, so we do not have a number.
Taxpayers have been bearing the brunt of the massive
she's
wave
awesome.
of illegal aliens who've entered the United States. The Biden administration seemingly declared taxpayers and hardworking Americans collateral damage in the pursuit of open borders. Again, Mayor Johnson, are NGOs providing services to illegal aliens in Chicago?
In accordance with the Welcoming City Ordinance, our sister agencies or city departments, we do not seek the status of any individual that is seeking service.
Mayor Johnston, are NGOs providing services to illegal aliens in Denver?
Thank you, ma'am.
Spit your gum out, you old hag.
Yeah, right?
Chewing like a frickin' billy
Chewing
goat.
gum during committee.
Chewing like a billy goat over here.
When folks arrive on the streets,
Thought I was watching Wicked
without
for a second.
food or resources or shelter, we do provide food or shelter regardless of where folks arrive from.
Mayor Adams, same question.
Yes, in combination of city agencies and nonprofits, we responded to the migrant asylum seekers humanitarian crisis that hit our.
Not for now, while nonprofits
yeah.
still exist.
What's that? Asylum seekers? People are feeding asylum seekers? It's almost like that's what the law says. It almost feels like that's what the law is. If you guys don't like, and all of you racists / Republicans, I guess that's what the R is for. If you don't like it, change the law. Take it to Congress, fight it out on the floor, get it passed, put it in the Senate, have it fought on the floor, and pass it. And then the president will sign it. But instead of that, you guys always want a shortcut. You know what I mean? You always want a shortcut just so that you can be a bigot. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Change the law, and then the mayors will stop following the law. They're following the law.
Our city.
And Mayor Wu, I assume you don't know their status, but do you know if there are NGOs are providing services to people arriving in your city without any kind of documentation?
There are
God, stop chewing that frickin' gum.
I know.
community organizations, many of them in Boston, who seek to serve all of our Boston residents.
Congress must provide oversight and ensure accountability for taxpayer funds going to NGOs. Agents from Customs and Border Protection have been outspoken in opposition to allowing NGOs to assist illegal aliens in subversion of law and order. When asked if NGOs are working at cross purposes to the mission of Border Patrol agents, the chief of the National Border Patrol Council said, quote, most definitely, and they should not be allowed, but our government allows it, end quote. NGOs receiving taxpayer funding.
I'm sorry, you said ICE agents. Are those people lawyers?
Yeah, like
are those
seriously.
law professors? No one gives a shit what those bums have to say.
We were talking about this before. I don't know if it was before the show or not, but like the guy who runs ICE now, he was like, I'm going to go into Boston. We're going to get all the illegal immigrants in Boston. And Boston was like, the fuck you are. You're not coming into Boston and touching our people. You better watch yourself, buddy.
And when they tried to do all the ICE raids in Chicago and all that stuff, and then nobody opened the door, and everyone said, cool, where's your warrant? And then they said, oh shit, we do need a warrant. The rules are on the book, dude. If this person that you say, this abuelita who's 4'11" and makes the best tamales this side of the border, if you think that she's a criminal just because she's here, then get a warrant for it. It should be easy, right?
Yeah, right.
It should be easy. Just get a warrant for her, and then you can come get her. But you're not allowed to just kick in all the doors of all the houses and say, I'm looking for Mexicans. Like, that is fucking racist and wrong. And the fact that I have to spell it out in fucking blanket terms is a bit insulting. Like, these old white people just think that, oh, another Mexican here sucking off the teat of my good tax pay, my good tax dollars. That's not what's happening. And for them to just always assume that that's the case, it really just betrays the lack of empathy, the lack of understanding of geopolitics. I mean, why don't you take a look at America's involvement in Central America? Maybe that's why they're coming here. Perhaps that's the reason. I mean, you can't arm dictators because you didn't like the current leader, and then when that guy goes apeshit and bananas crazy, now you want to say those people are not allowed to come here. Well, we ruined their democracy, so they're just having a spoonful of ours,
right,
while it's left.
Through grants, pay for everything from food, shelter, and transportation to legal services that help the migrants traverse Mexico. That is why I introduced H.R. 245, the Grant Integrity and Border Security Act.
North Carolina, you need to do something about her.
Oh God!
If you're in North Carolina and you know when she's running next, put it in the chat, or somebody look it up and put it in the chat. Her ass needs to be on the primary list.
This bill would require all NGOs who apply for a federal grant to certify as part of their application that they have not, will not, and are not engaging in acts that violate federal immigration law.
Well, that's a way to take
If
away
NGOs
grants from
continue violating our
nonprofits.
immigration laws, then my bill would ensure that no federal funds can ever go to the violators. It's time to pass this bill, ensure accountability, and secure our cities and the border. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair recognizes Ms. Brown from Ohio.
That bill's been stuck in committee for 2.5 months.
Where's my guy at? I had a guy up here. Here he is. This is my homie right here. I like this guy.
Issues, and we are having 7,000 trust between community and
of homes for people.
Oh, there we go.
People
Just couldn't tell Because this cameraman is so shitty. He fucking leaves it.
Mayor Wu, can you tell us a little bit, just maybe 20?
Proceed with the break, but Chair recognizes Mr. Kassar.
Mr. Kassar. This is almost unbox worthy.
Mayor Wu, can you tell us a little bit, just maybe 20 seconds, about how your administration has helped address unemployment, especially amongst youth in your city, which we know is a risk when we have high levels of young people unemployed?
We made a commitment, our mayor's guarantee, that any young person in the Boston Public Schools who wanted a paid summer job would get one, and we fulfilled that with the partnership of businesses and companies and organizations throughout the city. Record numbers participating.
Thank you, Mayor Wu. Mayor Johnson, can you tell us a little bit about measures your office has implemented to address the root causes of violence in Chicago?
Thank you for that question. Yes, so first of all, it's great to report that violence is down in the city of Chicago, and it has gone down since I've been in office as a result of a couple of measures. One, we've reopened 3 mental health clinics because we do know that mental health issues, and we are in a very severe mental health crisis. We've also increased the number of youth employment. We have hired almost 28,000 young people for last summer. This year, we have an opportunity to hire up to 29,000 young people. We've also built more homes. Just last year, we've appropriated $11 billion, 37,000 construction jobs in the works for almost 10,000 more affordable units. And we have promoted and hired 200 detectives to increase trust between community and law enforcement to solve the crimes that do occur in our city.
Thank you so much. Mayors, I want to thank you for the hard work you're doing every single day. Just in 40 seconds, you have described building tens of thousands of homes for people that need them, hiring detectives to solve cold cases, building community trust to reduce violence, hiring people to do incredible mental health work, and reducing the youth unemployment rate. That is so much more than what the Republican majority can ever describe having ideas about. And that's why they've dragged you before us today. They want to point the finger at you because they have no plan on how to address housing, no plan on how to reduce costs, no plan on how to actually reduce violence in our communities. In fact, maybe some of the only plans they have would be to make those issues worse. And I know that you all as mayors are doing one of the hardest jobs in this country every single day. You're serving your communities honorably. And they don't want the American people to hear about how Boston has drastically dropped your unemployment rate. They don't want the American people to hear about how Chicago is dropping the rate of violence in the city. But our job is to make sure the American people actually hear the truth. And the truth is that you are pairing a law enforcement response along with a mental health response and a housing response and a jobs response to what's going on in your cities. And that is so...
Whoa, he's almost addressing the problem.
So critical. Republicans, on the other hand, here are going back to the same old tactic, which is to say, find a vulnerable group of people and let's blame them for everything that we can. Anything bad that happens, let's go try to point the finger at our political opponents or at a vulnerable person or at a person of color from a faraway place. And that doesn't actually solve real issues for the American people. Republicans and their big boss donors blame immigrants for low wages because they don't want the American people to see the Republican plan to dismantle the NLRB, to dismantle unions.
And also, I just want to say real quick, I would love for them to give, life in prison for all of these people that hire migrants, right? Undocumented migrants, because the undocumented migrants are the worst scourge on the earth to them, worse than fentanyl. So they should probably lock those guys. Oh, wait, they just got tax cuts. Got it.
I'm pretty sure they think that undocumented migrants are made of fentanyl.
Are they like poison like the kids from Monsters, Inc.? A single touch could kill you.
I mean, that's how the police think fentanyl works. So you just touch it and oh my God.
Bro, I almost brought it up. I found a video. This cop busted some guy with fentanyl on him, and then they arrested him, and then the fucking guy, the partner goes to go to the bathroom, and the original guy was already in there, fucking passed out, fucking ODing in the bathroom, smoking the drugs that they just confiscated off of the guy. Just ODing.
bill raising wages for American workers. They blame immigrants for housing costs because the Republicans are dismantling the Department of Housing and Urban Development and stripping affordable housing funding from this country. They want to distract from the $8 million a day that people like Elon Musk get in federal contracts while they attack hardworking immigrants and while they attack officials that are actually just trying.
Hey, I just found a way to save our government $8 million a day.
To do their jobs. Mayor Johnson, you have a limited number, I suppose, of jail cells in Cook County and a limited number of law enforcement resources. Is that correct?
That is correct, and I do not have jurisdiction over Cook County jails.
And you want to make sure that when somebody in the city of Chicago calls 911, that they get an appropriate response. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so what I have been hearing all morning from my Republican colleagues is they want the federal government to go tell the city of Denver or the city of Boston or the city of Chicago. No, they want the federal government to be able to call you and take over your police resources or take over your county's jail resources, and you don't even represent the county, for whatever case they might come up with, whether the person is dangerous or not. Instead of having cities determine if somebody is dangerous and needs to be held, instead of having cities say, we want to make sure if you have an emergency.
Yeah, what happened to states' rights?
Well, see, what happened is the states can only do whatever they want whenever it is in line with what Republicans want. And
like making all the kids learn from PragerU.
Right. Oh my God. I totally forgot about this, but I was watching some shit on the TV this morning. A clip from a Meet the Press show with fucking Chuck Todd from this week, and they don't let him on the main show anymore because he's Chuck Todd, but they let him do his own little Meet the Press weekly show where he interviews people, and he interviewed fucking the PragerU guy,
Dennis Prager.
Yeah, and
what a brilliant mind.
And how like PragerU is being accepted into some like local school districts and stuff like that as like supplemental infotainment or whatever. And he just had like the worst, didn't push back at all, shittiest interview with a couple of like parents who were on a school board or something and they support PragerU and they want it in their schools. And I'm just like, dude, what the fuck?
Like,
why?
One watch of that dribble will be like, oh, this is stupid. This was made by a stupid person. This is a dumb dumb people PowerPoint presentation.
And they had a journalist watch one of the PragerU's videos with the school board guy, I think he might even be a teacher, and he was trying to explain, oh, we show these kids this because it was a video about slavery from PragerU. Yeah. So that's the level of what they were talking about.
These people had their own rooms, and they used to just work during the day and would rest at night.
The beginning of the video basically said that American whites didn't invent slavery, which is true. But they also said that like the African nations at the time weren't like great cultures. And the lady who stopped the video was like, well, that's just not true. And he's like, well, they're not always 100% accurate. And she's like, yeah, but you're basically telling African American students that their cultures have no value by showing them this video.
Good thing we brought you here.
Like,
you could have left my ass in Nigeria.
It went on like that for a few minutes, and I was just like, what the fuck? It is very bad to let local governments and all that have just no standard for curriculum. It is very bad to do that, because then you're going to get a lot of these PragerU motherfuckers showing their wrong videos saying that, oh, we're not going to indoctrinate the kids, but we're going to show them these heavily conservative leaning videos about history.
Whitewashed, totally inaccurate videos on history.
Completely whitewashed. The video was narrated by, what's her name? Ben Shapiro's lady friend.
Oh, the twin Shapiro?
Yeah.
Gross.
And I was like, come on, guys. Like,
Remember Tam Tam lobotomy?
Values Act to protect all of our residents, including immigrants and undocumented residents.
You already know he coming with the smoke.
We set up justice funds to support people that were facing deportation, defending immigrants in court. These are policies that are strongly supported by my residents back home because they are good for all the community and make Long Beach safer. Now, we also know that immigrants make our communities vibrant and thriving places to live. The facts are that sanctuary jurisdictions or jurisdictions that welcome immigrants are overwhelmingly safer than non-sanctuary jurisdictions. That's actually a fact. Immigrants, both documented and undocumented, are also less likely to be incarcerated.
Hey, enough with the facts, dude. You're messing up my lie reality here.
Or to commit crimes than native-born people. We know this to be true. Again, these
Look
are
at the
facts, and
January
mayors
Sixers.
have every right to pursue the policies that you know.
They've
are best
committed
for
way
their
more crimes than the undocumented
Now, the Trump
people.
administration has threatened to prosecute some of the mayors on the panel today and force them to comply with his extremist agenda. But however, Mayor Adams, you are
This
in a
is the
different
part.
position. You, of course, are already facing serious criminal charges. And Mayor Adams, I assume that you are not going to commit perjury today. And I do believe, though, that you have an enormous amount of issues facing you ahead of you. And it means that your criminal charges are absolutely relevant to us today. Bribery, wire fraud, willfully and knowingly conspiring to commit offenses against the United States.
Wow.
Mayor Adams, you, of course, deny these corruption charges against you. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
Congressman.
Thank you. Now, I understand that you are proven innocent unless you are guilty, but you also have, sir, a trust problem. Four of
he
your
said that
deputy
wrong,
mayors have
but sure.
resigned. Now, this is
flubbed it.
serious, and Republican prosecutors agree that the evidence against you is ironclad.
Here we go.
Yet Trump's DOJ moved to drop these charges. Now, I just want to be and show this. I want to be just really clear and show this here.
Oh, all the prosecutors
now,
that
look at how
resigned
the
over
Trump
this.
appointed acting U.S. attorney who is prosecuting you described it. Because the law does not support a dismissal, and because I am confident that Adams committed the crimes with which he is charged, I cannot agree to seek a dismissal.
Oops.
Now, this is a conservative
Whoopsie.
Republican who resigned when Donald Trump pressured her to drop the charges. And we know the Trump administration demanded that the charges be dropped. And this is key. They will be able to refile them against you, Mr. Mayor, at any time. I think, personally, that's why you sat next to the architect of family separation on Fox and Friends. Now, Tom Homan sat next to me and said the following, and I quote, "Getting on Rikers Island is step one. We're working on some other things that we don't really want to talk about on open air because the city council will be putting roadblocks up on us. The mayor and me have a commitment to several other things." Now, this was you, of course, and Mr. Homan, the architect of family separation. This is also incredibly concerning, Mr. Mayor. You sat next to him, you smiled, you badmouthed your own city council. Now, Mr. Mayor, we have a right to know if the Trump administration has actually coerced you into agreeing to anything.
Yeah.
And Mayor Adams, I also want to be very clear. Are you selling out New Yorkers to save yourself from prosecution?
There's no deal, no quid pro quo.
Who brought that up?
And I did nothing wrong. And anything dealing with this case out of deference to Judge Ho, who's now addressing it, I'm going to refer to his actions.
Well, Mr. Mayor, it appears, to me at least, that you are selling New Yorkers out. It appears that you are working with Tom Homan, who is clearly...
Did you see that fucking Cuomo's trying to run for mayor?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Hadn't been that long. Come on.
I forget whose joke it was, but I think they were saying his political slogan was honka honka.
Yeah, right? Come on, bro.
Clearly focused on family separation and deportations and harming New Yorkers and others across the country. Now, every other mayor on this panel is pursuing legal and effective policies that benefit our residents and their communities. Their policies actually uphold public safety. Now, I personally agree with the majority of New Yorkers and think, Mr. Mayor, that you should resign. You should do the right thing. You should step down and resign today. And with that, I yield back.
Well, there you go. And then, like, you can imagine the rest of the Republicans got up there and said, a dog got hit by a car that was washed by an illegal. And if that streaky window hadn't have been there, then maybe that's... Look, dude, at the same time, like, I feel empathy for these families that have, like, tragedies happen to them. But where are the Republicans when another school is shot up, and then another school is shot up, and then a workplace is shot up? Like, guns are the major cause of death for people under 18.
Right.
Over car crashes, over cancer, over everything. Guns. And you're worried about somebody being here because their court case is, and I put this in the chat over on the thing. We have 700 immigration judges total for the whole country to process everybody who needs a asylum case or anything like that. We have a 3.6 million case backlog. Trump fired 6 of them last week.
Right.
Now, will that help us get through them quicker or slower? I mean, like, we need at least 1,000 more judges. We need to allow people to wait out their immigration case wherever they can live, because no one wants to house them if they already have a house that they were living in and that they want to go to. Why don't you let them live there and not on the taxpayer dime until their court date arrives? But no, let's just put them in a camp and feed them MREs, and that'll be cheaper somehow. And then spend $30,000 a flight to fly them back to a country that they're fleeing because the cartel said, if you come back here, I'm going to assassinate you and your entire family. So make it make sense. I can't afford to be flying people all over the place. But now, Brits, I apologize. I apologize. I apologize.
We didn't vote for this guy.
We did not. We did not.
Zelensky, when he says it's going to go on for years, how many more lives are going to be lost? He's not going to have a country to save at the end of that. The minerals deal would have provided the monies to rebuild their country and a strong U.S. presence and maybe European troops as well.
And this is an important part of it. The president knows that, look, if you want real security guarantees, if you want to actually ensure that Vladimir Putin does not invade Ukraine again, the very best security guarantee is to give Americans economic upside in the future of Ukraine. That is a way better security guarantee than 20,000 troops from some random country that hasn't fought a war in 30 or 40 years. The security guarantee and also the economic guarantee for Ukraine is to rebuild the country and ensure that America has a long-term interest. You're not going to do that if you come to the Oval Office, insult the president, and refuse to follow his plan for peace. Of Ukraine.
Sorry. That's all I can say. Just disgraceful.
I don't like this JD Vance.
I can't remember the exact. I think it was 636 troops that died alongside us in all of our recent incursions.
Yeah.
6,500, something like that, 650-ish.
I know that, like, Marco Rubio is Secretary of State, and that's, he's whatever. It's Marco Rubio. But who let J.D. Vance be point on foreign policy?
No.
Like, why? He's dumb. He's so dumb. He fucks couches and other furniture.
I saw it on the internet.
I saw it. Listen, someone posted that as a quote from his book, and I dare you to prove me wrong.
You're not going to read that book.
You're not gonna read that book. That's why it's true. No one's ever read that book.
No one.
JD Vance is not an international relations expert.
No.
He's very bad at it. He goes around insulting everyone. And he's the reason Zelensky blew up at that meeting. And Zelensky didn't even blow up. Zelensky had a rational conversation. And Trump and Vance were yelling at him.
That's why I'm glad that Kamala Harris is not president, because, women are so emotional, Tim. They get all worked up in their feelings, and they'll probably be like yelling and screaming. And you know what? I bet they would start World War III.
And they would comment about, "Oh, you're not wearing a suit there, buddy."
and then the fact that Trump and Vance just sat there and let Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband, because he's not a reporter, by the way, he's just Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband, in that ridiculous used car salesman suit, stand there and you let him insult a head of state in front of you without saying, hey, go. That should have been instant. Get him out of here. That's what a big man does. That's what somebody with any kind of clout or power does is, hey, you're disrespecting my guest. Get out. Get out of the room. But I mean, the Russian state media was there as well, so it wasn't a setup. It was just a natural blowout. No, this was a complete setup.
They had to make it look good for Daddy.
Ugh, gross. Gross.
Daddy Putin. Speaking of shit people.
Speaking of daddy issues.
On this vote, the yeas are 224. The nays are 198, with 2 answering present.
Free speech is back in America, except for that guy.
The resolution is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The House will come to order. The House will come to order. Shh.
Stop shushing.
Did he shush? He shushed them?
Will Representative Green present himself to the well?
Go ahead, big dog.
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green...
What did you say?
Someone shouted order.
The House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker.
So Tim, for all of our Europeans, what's censure mean?
Censure is like a little slap on the wrist saying, we think you did bad, but there's not really anything we're going to do to you. It's just sort of you're punished there, sir.
You have been admonished.
You have been admonished. We don't like what you did.
3 points from Gryffindor.
Basically.
Oh, look at this rabble-rouser singing We Shall Overcome.
I know.
Hateful.
He's a revolutionary.
Hey, where's all the white Democrats? Oh, I see 2 of them.
There's a couple in there. There's a smattering.
See?
The House will come to order. The House will come to order.
Who's taking his censure?
What's it?
Can we censure him again?
I declare you are double censured.
To come to order, clear the well, please. Clear the well. The House has to continue its business.
Yeah, business. That's laughable.
I see Rashida. I see Ilhan. What y'all saying?
Yeah, what's going on?
Quit
Why
muting
was
the
the
mic.
audio cut?
Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the House will stand in recess subject to the call of the chair.
Oh, but I thought the House had important business.
No, we're going to recess.
It's adoption of House...
Fucking... First of all, every Democrat should have been up there.
Yep.
Every single one. Any Democrat who isn't up there is a fucking coward at this point.
There's so many cowards, Tim.
Second of all, Speaker Johnson is such a pussy.
Clip it. I love it. Big frothing. Let me stop.
He's just a coward too. Like he's just the worst. Our government is run by people who don't have balls.
I mean, what do you stand for? It's not the people. It's not your coworkers. Why are you there? And if you're in this like, ooh, I'm just like this nebulous thing. I'm just like this politician. If that's who you want to be in this like bohemian style politics, I mean, cool.
Yeah.
But primary season is coming, dog, and all of your asses are gone. There's going to be a bunch of, we're going to have a bunch of street fighters in there for fucking coming up next. Like, I wish there was a way for us to recall some of these people and just get them out now.
I know. If you want to be a backbencher, then be a backbencher, but that's only going to get you so far.
Right. They just want to be technically in Congress and then technically, vote on a couple of things, and then they can just, get them lobby checks.
Yeah, I mean, there are very few Democrats showing that they have a spine. I can count on maybe one hand.
Yeah.
Like it's AOC, it's Chris Murphy, it's God.
Remember when
The
we
lady
all
that we like, I forget her name now.
Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett. And Bernie Sanders, even though he's not technically a Democrat, like the progressives, the actual true progressives that are out there. I don't even know if I would count Chris Murphy as a true progressive, but he's doing something.
And I think the progressive message has been snuffed out largely by the DNC. And I don't know that they have the juice to snuff us out anymore. So as bad as everything is, the progressives need to just start sweeping all of these seats. Because if we can't hijack the Democratic Party and push it more into a leftward progressive posturing, then we just need to make a progressive party. Like, that's what it just has to be. And as we can tell, money is not everything in politics anymore. Not with the internet. Like, you don't need to run ads and mail a bunch of shit to everybody's house. Get on TikTok. Get on Facebook. Yeah. Get on YouTube. Get on Twitch. Talk to the people directly.
And honestly, there should, if the Democrats want to do something, do more organized protests on the House floor. That seems to grab attention.
Hakeem Jeffries literally told them, don't be disruptive.
I know.
And was he, let's go back. Was he even there?
He wasn't there.
Do we see him? Let me go back. I don't see him.
I don't see Hakeem Jeffries on the floor of the House.
I don't see
Representative Al Green be censured. That Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A long-standing civil rights leader, Democrat Al Green from Texas, I forget which district he's from, maybe 4, is up there being censured. Where is his leadership?
Right.
Vacant. Just go, dude. If you don't want to fight, leave. We're in the fight times. We're not in the talking trash times. If you're a trash talker, that's great. Get on the internet. Go do a Don Lemon. Go get yourself a show, Hakeem. I'm sure MSNBC would scoop you right up. I'm sure they would, and they'll pay you well. Go do that. But you're not there to lead. You're not there to look out for the people, and you're not there to apparently stand up for your coworkers and your colleagues. That's crazy. You sent me this. Trump tariff live updates.
Oh, yeah, there's a video. There's supposed to be a video.
This one?
There might be a commercial.
Loading ad.
All right.
Oh, it's a Kia.
Oh, man, I love a Kia.
Kias have stepped their game up in a big way.
Well, yeah, someone has to. It's not going to be the Democrats, am I right?
Am I right?
Is that a thing? Ad. I know, it is a long ad.
Damn. I'm used to 8 to 10 second ads. Here we go.
Trump's latest tariff moves. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick joins us now. Secretary Lutnick, welcome. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Ugh.
It's been a bit of a roller coaster, so we'll start with the latest news, which is the breathing room that President Trump is giving to the automakers a month now. For those
a month ain't gonna save them.
Yeah,
tariffs on Mexico and Canada. Why 1 month, and why just the automakers?
Because we forgot that they
because they make so many cars.
We forgot that they got their shit from Canada and Mexico, and that's our bad.
So it's not likely to be just the automakers. I mean, the president is going to decide this today, but he's talking about it. But I think it's likely that it will cover all USMCA compliant goods and services. So that which is part of President Trump's deal with Canada and Mexico are likely to get an exemption from these tariffs now. That this comes from that Canada has done in.
Zero spine. Zero spine the president has on his own tariffs. This is twice he blinked on this.
Oh, man. Stellantis owns, which one do they own?
Dodge, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah, Daimler Chrysler got bought by Stellantis.
Yeah.
Okay. Sheesh. Remember Chrysler?
Tesla's, yeah. Tesla's already been having a bad couple of months, and this is not making it any better.
I was reminded by an economist that if his stock drops to 50% of what its initial value was when he took out all those loans, which is how he has all this money, if his stock drops below 50%, he needs to pay that off. And all of his millions and billions and billions of dollars goes gone. It's all gone. So keep driving that Tesla stock down, y'all. Keep selling it.
Tesla lost 6% today.
Ooh, come on, baby.
When did he take out those loans?
I don't know. I'll have to talk to our inside guy on finance.
Yeah.
You know of whom I speak.
I know of whom you speak. They're almost at 50% from their highs.
I think they're getting there. And he's going to have to, and then they're going to be like, all right, pay us up. You drove this into the ground. Deal's off.
So Tesla's 52-week high is 488 points. Right now they're at 262.
Enormous amount. They've offered us an enormous amount of work.
Well, that's okay because he got all these deals in China. He can make. Oh, right, tariffs.
Work on fentanyl, and so is Mexico. Matter of fact, the president and I are speaking to our Mexican counterparties later today, this morning. So we think this is likely. The likely outcome will be sort of in the middle. So USMCA compliant goods and services will be excluded, and everything else. So if you think about it this way, if you lived under Donald Trump's U.S., Mexico, and Canada agreement, you will get a reprieve from the tariffs now. And if you chose to go outside of that, you did so at your own risk. And today is when that reckoning comes.
Oh, so when they ripped up NAFTA and decided that UMCA thing, which was like United States, Mexico, Canada.
Yeah.
So we're saying, oh, except for you guys. No, dumbass. Those are the places that you put the tariffs on. And who made that? Who made the trade agreements? Trump. He's trying to like yell at everybody else about how unfair the trade agreement was. You fucking wrote it, dude.
It was your trade agreement.
What the hell are you talking about?
Now, you will get a reprieve now for 1 month, or you will get a reprieve altogether from these new tariffs?
Well, the reprieve is for 1 month. Remember, the month now is about fentanyl and about the border. So they've been working hard to close the border, but we're not seeing the reduced number of...
And he's also not bringing up how Mexico is saying, our tariffs are staying until you get a handle on your gun manufacturers.
Yeah, right.
Who are arming the cartel with so many AR-15s that we cannot deal with it.
Deaths of autopsy deaths from fentanyl. And the president is just right on that topic.
Poll says there was a wee fire burnt all felons' cars in a dealership. Oh, no. And I saw somebody like those fast chargers. Someone had lit up like 10 of them.
Yeah, that stuff is probably impossible to put out too. I can only imagine.
Oh my God, a Tesla fire.
A Tesla dealership on fire has got to be impossible to put out.
You just got to wait.
Going to protect America.
Or here, put J.D. Vance's charisma on it. That'll put it out.
Lives, and he's being very, very tough on it. But let's face it.
J.D. Vance just walks up to the cars. How long you worked here?
If you're not tough on protecting American lives, what's the point of being the president of the United States? He's so strong and focused on protecting American lives.
Yeah, whatever.
And he's going to crack down and make sure this fentanyl...
You in the back with the clipboard. How long have you worked here?
...is not coming in. That's why he's raised the tariff on China. Remember, in 20...
Are you a probationary worker? I have a friend from South Africa who wants to talk to you.
I like to think that whenever J.D. Vance walks into a new room, anyone he sees, he's like, hey, how long have you worked here?
How long you been here?
How long? Okay. Hey, you over there. How long you worked here? So he's like, Mr. Vice President, I'm your chief of staff. Yeah, how long you work here?
I'm your son. How long you work here?
Only a couple months then?
So Tim, if I was to approach you and you're at a donut shop and I'm looking at you like you are right now, I'm like, hey man, sweet headphones. I like those headphones. All right, let me get some food here. What do you recommend? That's how you talk to humans.
Yeah, be like, so what are those?
Donuts?
What's that? Just give me whatever. Just a random. I don't care.
Do you just want in a box or a bag? Most unhelpful customer ever. I hate that.
19, President Xi offered Donald Trump when he was president that he would put the death
His veneers are driving me insane. They're so fake. Oh my God, they're so fake.
penalty on anybody who made the fentanyl ingredients. And the president is looking to get that in place. Stop these ingredients and stop fentanyl coming in.
Oh, the poor S&P 500. I think the NASDAQ is actually officially in correction territory now.
Fuck. You don't know what you're doing. Stop digging. Just stop.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Put the shovel down. Hashtag drop the shovel.
The
It's official.
NASDAQ is 50 points away from being in correction territory.
Now, April 2nd.
I just want to get old, Tim, and have a kid and have the kid yell at me. That's all I wanted in life. And now look at me. Now look at me. A mess.
Is when we begin our reciprocal tariffs. So if you think about it, what he said was, okay, between now and April 2nd, I'm just going to give USMCA, I'm going to set that aside from these tariffs, but just for this month. And then on April 2nd, it's not that this reprieve starts, it's that on April 2nd, the reciprocal tariffs start. How you treat us is how we expect to treat you. And you have no idea what Canada does. I mean, the dairy products and all this other stuff, it's got to end.
So, and I have a lot of questions.
Why didn't you describe any of it? Why did you just say random words and then just move on?
Yeah. Yeah.
With the dairy products, what about it?
What about dairy products?
They're delicious to me.
About April 2nd, but first on the fentanyl, you said that he wants to see fewer deaths. Is that the metric here for when these tariffs end? I mean, because according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents, only seized 43 pounds of fentanyl at the Canadian border last year. So is that a metric? Do we want to see that go down to zero? How are you judging when they've done enough?
43 pounds, that's less than that guy's head.
Well, how funny is that, right? Like, if I seize less, does that mean, like, the stuff they haven't seized hasn't gone through?
That's what we want to know, you fucking idiot.
That was the question. Are you going to answer it or say, wow, a question?
How silly of a question did you ask? No, we're asking the question because we actually don't know, because no one has explained anything.
It's obvious. The milk farmers and such. Exactly.
Death, as horrible as that is to say, should be
but
the
a lot of it is
statistic we're looking
Americans
at.
smuggling it over, right? It's not just Canadians.
Well, look, crooks are crooks, but I got to stop.
He was about to say Americans.
He said,
what do you mean?
He said crooks are crooks. Does he think it's legal in Mexico to transport massive amounts of drugs? It's not.
Oh, my God.
The flow across our border. We've got to stop the flow that has these ingredients being made in Canada and in Mexico coming into our country. We've got to close the border, which we're doing a better job of, obviously record low numbers, but we need to see fentanyl deaths decline. So that is the statistic.
So are we
that
looking
I'm
at
most
daily
focused
autopsy?
Oh, man, this lady is like nailing this guy to a cross here. She's like, so are we looking at like daily autopsy reports or like overdose? Like, what are we talking about here? What's the actual metric you're going to use?
If only we did something like that with guns. Oh, wait, they're not allowed to talk about that because the ATF is not allowed to report on that kind of stuff.
Tons of Mice says, J.D. Vance finally shirks his mortal coil and goes to his just reward. He looks around at the souls being tortured. He sees old friends burning, and he asks the devil, how long have you worked here?
Autopsy deaths? Like, how do we do that? How, as a business, do you figure out
the legend.
what that's going to look like and when it ends?
Well, I think what you see is that this month, my expectation is the president will come to the agreement today, and hopefully we will announce this today, that USMCA compliant goods will not have a tariff for the next month until April 2nd. That includes the autos, and the autos were the lead in getting this deal done. But
yeah, because they were furious because you're going to close all the dealerships, and there's just going to be random brand new cars with no owners.
Yeah, I saw they were talking to a dude, or I think that was the first clip you played.
Yeah.
Talking to a guy.
Oh, Tio Jaime.
Well, there was a news report where they were talking to a guy who owns a dealership, and he's like, "Well, this $80,000 truck, I'm gonna have to sell for $100,000, and then nobody's gonna buy it, so it's gonna stay on my lot, and I'm gonna have to pay extra taxes for it because nobody's buying it, but I can't sell it for less than $100,000."
And they're running out of parking space. The lot not too far away from me has taken the golf course's parking lot. They're probably just paying them, a couple grand in rent or something like that, because we got a sub. Thank you. Thanks, TM. Why is it doing the wrong sound?
It's going to do the other sound again.
Maybe it's on a random loop. I don't know. But but they don't have any space on the actual lot. So they have to they have to purchase and rent extra lots just to put all the cars that they can't sell, because all these fucking brand new cars, these 2024s and 2025, they're six figures.
Yeah, they're expensive. The cars are expensive already. God.
How much was your first car?
The first car that I bought ever?
Yeah.
Well, it was used and it was like $1,500.
Me too. My van was $1,500.
So the wife and I bought. All right. So the first new car I've ever bought was 2016. We bought a Subaru Forester.
Okay.
And it cost $28,000.
Reasonable for a new car. Reasonable.
Very reasonable for a brand new car, right off the lot. 10 miles on it.
Ooh, smell good.
Hold on, let me look it up right now. What
does
a 20?
Oh, look out, Tim! Everybody, buckle up.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Oh no! Oh, dude, don't look.
Oh my God!
How much, Tim?
It's like $40,000.
But this one's so much better, Tim. Like, what are what are dealerships supposed to do when a $28,000 car they have to sell for $40,000?
That's crazy.
Like, what are people like? And then so what's here? Let's see here. How long is a car loan typically? 5 years?
6 years? 5 or 6 years? Yeah.
So 40 grand.
72 months, so 6 years.
Just a $555 car payment.
And you got to put in the financing is like 5% right now. So we're talking about like a $600 monthly car payment.
And you have to have full coverage on it because it's new and you're financing it. And so that insurance is going to be at least $150 a month, maybe. So who
something like that.
So who doesn't have $700 a month for a vehicle to get back and forth to work in?
That's wild.
I don't know where everybody thinks that all this money is coming from, but we don't have it. Whatever y'all thinking, we don't have $700 a month just for a car. One car.
And by the way, like in any one case, like someone like fax checks me over here. I didn't buy a base model Forester. We got like a few upgrades on it, so it was more than the base model. So the base model Forester is $30,000. But that's still more expensive than the premium version of the car that I got 10 years ago.
Whew.
But also Canada and Mexico have done a good job offering us ever more work.
Mopeds for the win in the USA. Yeah, dude. We're going to be scootering around like the Caribbean.
To prove to us they're going to cut the fentanyl deaths. And then,
oh, I could get a snowmobile.
There you go.
I could just take off. Yeah, just snowmobile off to school, drop off the kiddo. Or maybe I could just get some Huskies.
On April 2nd, we're going to move into the reciprocal tariffs, and hopefully Mexico and Canada will have done a good enough job on fentanyl that this part of the conversation.
It's Americans bringing it in.
But what is the metric? You're not giving Canada or Mexico the metric they need to meet. You're just saying you need to lower the deaths of fentanyl, but which way? How?
Will be off the table, and we'll.
It's like that dude we were talking to the other day. It's like, what are you talking about?
Move just to the reciprocal tariff conversation. But if they haven't, this will stay on. Black and white, this will stay on. We need to protect
China?
American lives.
Is there any discussions with China about what they're doing on fentanyl ingredients and deaths, which I know has been a problem?
She is on his ass.
I know. She's like, dude, all right, what about China? What are they doing?
Christy in the chat said first car was a Ford Fiesta 1.25 liter Z-Tech. It cost just under 3,000 pounds 13 years ago. I don't even know. I'm scared to think. Look at how much that costs now.
A Ford Fiesta.
Well, President Xi offered.
Yeah, that was one of those Fords that was only available in Europe. Like,
yeah,
we didn't even get the cool one. So annoying. I live 500 miles from Detroit, and they get all the cool cars. Like, what the hell is going on right now?
Fentanyl ingredients and deaths, which I know has been a problem.
Well, President Xi offered President Trump in 2019 that he would put the death penalty on if you made the ingredients for fentanyl and opioids. He offered it in 2019, and he didn't do it. And the president has heard that and said, I'm looking for that. End fentanyl ingredient production in China. Just end it, or you're going to pay 20%, and they're paying 20%. So it's a win-win. If they stop.
What happened to personal account? Never mind.
Great, we save Americans. And if they refuse to stop, right, then the cost of their refusing to stop gets higher and higher and higher.
What a friggin' moron.
What a big dummy that guy is.
Sheesh.
Just a big old. How's the stock market doing right now, Mikey?
Let's take a look. Scroll. Markets. Oh.
Wow.
Dow Jones is down to 42. It was at 48 yesterday.
Oh, now the Nasdaq's only 11 points away from being in a correction. That 18,000.
They have to just add some, like, I know they don't have it in them, but someone has to let them know, bro, you don't know what you're doing. You just don't.
I know.
You just don't understand. Like, you thought you knew how it all worked, but you don't. You don't understand. Oh, Shanghai's doing great. Hang Seng. Should we just move to China and just call it a day?
I mean, we could talk to Nolan. He knows how to get people in China.
Look who's down here in the bottom of the market movers, fucking Palantir. That's what you get. Well, I mean, let me find something to cheer everybody up with. I don't want to leave you guys on a sour note.
There's got to be something.
We tell you guys the facts so that you can know what you're talking about, and then you can convince everybody that the world's not going to end. So when you guys have that video, send it back to us so then we can not be sad too.
Oh, you know what, Mikey? I had this thought the other day, and this would be cool, some cool audience participation. And it would get people on the Patreon. What if once a week, after one of our shows, we do a question and answer with Mikey and Tim on Patreon, and we take some questions that are provided in the chat and we answer them on our question and answer session.
I can commit to this. I will do this.
Because we got pretty good chat audience nowadays, and I think that we take some of their questions during the show, and we take it over to Patreon, we answer them, We get some people on the Patreon, some subscribers, and then they can see us answer questions. And they don't have to be about politics. We'll answer whatever.
Yeah, I'm down.
If you want to ask Mikey about his favorite teas, you can do that.
Or my baby, because I don't talk about my baby too much. Our personal lives. Us unboxed. Ooh, unboxed hosts.
Unboxed hosts.
Yeah, I'm really struggling for some good news here. Let me go through my history. There must have been something positive that I've watched in the last 24 hours. So I think one of the houses that we're looking at, it has like a pretty decent sized lot, like an oversized lot. And I think the lady must have passed or something. It looked like an old lady used to live there. And I was like, dude, I could really kick off the garden. I was like, I should probably start like a garden channel.
Ooh.
And then you know what else I thought? I'm probably going to have to eat that shit because there's not going to be any produce. It might be a business opportunity in there. Surely I've watched something funny. God, I watch a lot of history. Here, how about this? We'll watch a post. All right. Zion Williamson is back. Prepare for takeoff.
Way to go. And again, we still shake our head that he's a member of the purple.
Get rid of that sound there. So Zion has been suffering some injuries and all that.
That's called a facial.
Let's go for the slow-mo.
You gotta watch this dunk. Listen to the power of this dunk.
Damn.
God damn, son.
That is power.
Look at
I'm surprised
LeBron.
there's still a backboard.
Look at LeBron. He said, whoa.
That is
LeBron's eyebrows are already up like, oh, shit. He's
power.
Couldn't have been me. Oh, there you go.
I mean, boy, he hits on that trampoline, and look at this.
You know, that's the crazy part. He ain't on no trampoline. Like, that's just a wood floor he's jumping off of.
That's off the ground.
I can't do that. My vertical leap is like 1 foot.
I got some hops, not a ton of hops. I'm an endurance build. I'm built for long distance running. Thanks soccer and freaking cross country. Ruined all my leaping skills.
All right. Well, that's it. That's it for now. We'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Oh shit, that's right.
For Unboxed, and we'll talk about some other stuff. But you know what?
What?
We're gonna try and do a pineapple free episode. I think that
have we had enough?
We've all been through a lot.
Have we had enough pineapple, Tim?
We've all been through a lot, and we should take a break. We should do something nice for ourselves.
We should just play Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh man.
Dude, that game is still so much fun. I just made a new park last night. It was very fun. I actually went through and made all the footpaths because my last 10 parks were like, it's so crowded in here. I was like, fine. So I like separated everything out. It's nice. It's nice.
But yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't done it.
Please.
The channel's growing all the time. Mikey and I have got some stuff we're gonna cook up. That'll be fun, and I think that Q&A thing is going to be cool. So, did you die?
No, that was Graham.
Oh, okay.
I'm trolling Graham.
Oh, you're trolling. Oh, okay. I thought that was you making that sound. I was like,
no, it's not me. It's not me.
I see. Is that like a younger Graham?
Yeah, that's when he was traveling around.
The buses in America.
Oh.
Sorry, I'll play Spain.
So patreon.com/thebiddenpodcast, become a patron, and you will get to see us answer questions that you ask us.
And we can't say no.
We can't say no.
What would you do if you could ask us a question and we couldn't say no? I saw an awesome TikTok like that, and the dude was like, "Okay, good. That gives us just enough time for me to teach you how to do the Raging Demon with Akuma." I'll show it to Tim because I don't want to get in trouble. Go watch Capcom Cup. There you go. That's what I've been watching. Capcom Cup, which is on regular ass TV in Japan. Japan is just a better place.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I
the
can't wait till
future over there.
I can't wait till we get there. So here's
They're living in the future over there.
Here's the. Oh, where's our chat? Here. The Bin Pa Pork Cast.
The Bin Pork Cast.
Ooh, I would. Hey, I would watch that.
Podcast about pork?
Fuck yeah. Here's the chat. Boop.
Oh no.
Go hang out with Graham.
Yeah, go hang out with Graham.
Because I gotta feed the baby.
Tell Graham to calm the fuck down a little bit.
Yeah. He's not gonna, but you can tell him.
Tell him we said calm the fuck down, bro.
And tell him we sent you. Give him
tell him we sent you.
And give him a howdy partner. He'll know where it's from. Flood him with howdy partners. Okay. We're done here.
All right.
We're
Play us
fading
out.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.